And we are now live. So, warm welcome from Let Us Talk It Zipners. Thank you so much, all, for looking forward in our Wednesday sessions. So, my name is Phil, and I host this webinar, which gives you free knowledge. So, we invite guest speakers, professionals, for them to share their knowledge, their personal insights, and their experience in their field and the topic that they wish to share to the world. As with the Let Us Talk It webinars, we believe that knowledge should be free and it should be spread and shared. So, the company behind this initiative is Cogent Integrated Business Solutions. So, they're an IT company based in Detroit, Michigan, United States, and they wanted to give back to the community through free knowledge sharing. So, if you're wondering, we do not call it webinar, we call it Zipinar, as we try to zip in two topics in 1 hour, in just one session, just to shorten the time consumed, but broaden the information that you get from the sessions that we have. So, as an irregular way, every Wednesday we invite two guest speakers that we are bringing you today, and they will be sharing unique topics, ideas, and personal experiences, and they will be bringing that one here in the Stock It for the world to take advantage for. All right. So we believe that information is everywhere with the work of the internet, but having the valuable experience added to those information would really be different. All right. So before I introduce the guest speakers, let me tell you the first topic that we have today. We have tokenization, so revolutionizing content IP investments. So that'll be the first topic that we'll be having, and who will be the speaker who will share that topic or discuss that topic is Sir Satish Kataria, which is a founder of Pandora, and which is India's first content IP tokenization platform, and has been 5 times serial entrepreneur and 3 times venture capitalist, working across various asset classes, and also pioneered the concept of crowdfunding in India, and also an author and a podcaster. And without further ado, we are very pleased to introduce to you Sir Satish Kataria for the first topic discussion.
Sure. Hi everyone, and thanks so much, Finn and Congen, for giving me this opportunity. So just to start off, I'll start with my brief background. I've been working from last 24 years. Have been a serial entrepreneur as well as a 3x venture capitalist. With respect to venture capital, I have worked across multiple investment asset classes, including real estate, media, and early stage startups. And with respect to entrepreneurship, I'm right now working on my fifth venture, which is Pandora. Earlier than this, I have launched India's first crowdfunding platform, which was in collaboration with a Singapore-based company called GrowVC. And then this was way back in 2010, when the whole idea of crowdfunding was just kind of germinating in the whole global industry, and we were the first one to bring this into Indian market with a whole vision that how can we bring more and more people to support entrepreneurs and to kind of fuel the Indian entrepreneurs dreamship as such. Uh, I again launched one more crowdfunding platform in 2013, which was called Catapult. Catapult was more a reward-based crowdfunding platform, wherein we were helping very early stage companies, which were at prototype level, and and helping them to raise funding from amongst the community. We ended up helping about 100 plus startups to raise the funding from amongst their fans, potential audience, and potential customers. And that was a very, very interesting phase. We also launched in that phase one of India's largest crowdfunding offline event series, which was supported by Economic Times, which is India's leading financial daily. So we went on, we kind of spread the whole message of crowdfunding and how more and more people can come and be part of the entrepreneurial ventures. I got my exit from there in 2017, post which I worked with a few startup accelerators, helping them as their entrepreneur in residence and mentoring their startups with respect to fundraising and go-to-market strategy. Then, for a brief while, I was again, as I told, I was a part of a venture capital fund investing into early stage startups. And for a very brief while, I was also heading a proposed fractional real estate platform. But then that mandate only lasted for about 6 months because there were some strategic overviews from the promoters of that platform. With respect to Fandora, I think I have been working on Fandora for almost last year and a half now, right? And what led to Fandora was a culmination of all that I have been learning so far, right? Was be it through crowdfunding, be it through helping independent filmmakers to raise funding for their projects, understanding how the fractional investment model works, and then obviously understanding that how Web3 is kind of reshaping the whole scenario amongst alternative asset classes, right? And that is what we keep talking about, the real world asset tokenization, the entire movement that is now happening. And I think something on which Sangeet sir will also like throw some light after my talk. So what are we doing at Fundora? I guess if you look at the content IP space, and by content IP space, I essentially mean films, music, books, art, sports IP, anything which has an underlying intellectual property to it, which is a tangible, marketable, sellable asset class, right? And today, globally, the content IP market is almost a $300 billion market, right? And even within India, incidentally is one of the world's second largest content producer, right? And I think it will be very soon the first one in just maybe just few years because India has the largest configuration of content makers and creators, right? So, so India content market also is about 35 odd billion dollars. But surprisingly, this entire space, this entire market is even today controlled by just few hands, right? There are just some few studios, few corporate networks, a few financiers who kind of have a hold on this entire space, right? And they just keep playing it between themselves because they are the one who bring money, they are the one who create the various products, they are the one who ultimately take up and own the IP, and then they are the one who then transact in this IP amongst various layers and amongst various markets as such, right? So what is happening? There are issues happening both at the demand side as well as the supply side. Now let me emphasize on this. At the demand side, while the world has million and million of creators, and each one of them, I mean, a lot of them have their own unique talents, which they want to express to the whole world, right? Through which they want to entertain, educate, aware the whole world out there, but they can't because one, most of them would not have the enough funds, one, to make a good content, and two, to be able to get that content distributed, right? Because all the corporate networks that you talk about today, be it Facebook, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, right, they have become very, very expensive for an independent creator to be able to just rely on that. Uh, yeah, to be able to just rely on that, right? And which is why more often than not, it's a very, very tough journey for creators, especially in the early days, because they have to keep knocking the doors of these financiers. They have to literally sell their soul and give away the IP rights of whatever content they want, because end of the day, all they want is that little money so that they can keep making better and better content. right? So, and thirdly, again, the whole distribution structure is very opaque even today, despite the best of technologies, right? If I'm a YouTube creator and I'm getting some money out of YouTube, even today, I do not know whether that is 10% of my income, 50% of my income, or 70% of my income, because everything is hidden by algorithms of these corporate networks, right? And they will never let you know what kind of money are we paying you back. They may be just paying 1% of what they're earning on our content, right? And we have to be happy with that. So I think with all these issues, there's a lot of challenge at the creator side. Now let's talk about the supply side, which is the demand side, which is the people, the audience, which is taking the content, which is seeing the content. It is the audience which makes the creator, right? If there is no audience, there will be no IP market. But what does the audience do? Audience just pays money and passively sees the content. That's it. They have no other way to engage with the content. Yeah, they are. I mean, they can see the face of their favorite star in some event, in some newspaper, on TV, in magazines, in tabloids, and that's it. They are happy with that. And even if I look at from an investment perspective, there are very, very few investors who get an opportunity to invest in this asset class, to understand this asset class, despite the fact that the closed community which controls this asset class makes almost 35 to 50% returns on their money. So this attractive alternative asset class, even today, is hidden to most of the investors globally. So that is the true scenario. And what is happening? What is happening is, on the other hand side, this entire movement of Web3 has come across. What is Web3? Web3 is a movement which is talking about reading, writing, and finally owning our data, owning our presence on the internet. That is what Web3 is all about. If you talk about the internet, uh, developments across the spectrum of Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. Web 1 was only when you could read what the others are publishing on the websites. You could not interact with them. Web 2, when you can write, that is where all the social media platforms came. You started writing on the net. What you are writing started reaching out to other people. The whole network, the whole internet manifested because of that. But again, you never owned your data, right? It was the Facebook of the world which could just monetize on your data, and you're just giving data after data, videos after videos, content after content, but you have no way, or a very, very minuscule way of monetizing that data. It is ultimately the social media platforms who control your data, who understand that to which people will your data go to or will not go to, and they will not take your data to a large audience till the time you pay them, right? So this has become a business model. It has become a very, very, I would say, a dictatorship of data, which has become the norm of the day today, and which is why today the governments globally, be it India, be it Europe, be it America, all of them are fighting tooth against nail against these big behemoths, be it Google, Facebook, because they have realized this. They have realized that they are just making fool of the people, and people have to pay and pay and pay just to consume the content that they're offering on their board, right? And then comes Web3. Now with Web3, I can own my data, I can own my creativity, I can own my IP. And that is exactly what we are doing with Pandora, right? With Pandora, we are democratizing the investment in content IP space. And how are we doing it? It's very simple. It's very simple. At one end, we are giving an opportunity to the upcoming creators to come on the platform, showcase their talent, and and instead of depending on few studio or giving out your IP rights to them for peanuts, now you can actually raise funds from amongst your own fans, right? So that whole opportunity is something that we're giving to them, wherein we are curating, we are identifying some awesome content creators across categories, be it books, be it films, be it music, be it anything, right? So those people will be able to come, and whatever funding they need. Now, with Pandora, they will be able to get that funding through fractional components. So let's say if I am a creator and I need $1,000 to make my next film, I had previously my only option was to knock at the door of a studio and beg them for $1,000, right? If they like my idea, if they find that okay, I can give them money back, they will accept me, and that too, they will accept me after taking away all my rights of that content, right? But today with Pandora, you are free to raise this money from amongst your fans, from amongst your audience. So instead of one person or two people giving you $1,000, today you can have a large number of people, each contributing a smaller portion of the capital, so that you get the funding and you are able to make the content the way you want to make, the way you want to distribute your content, right? So that is one angle that we are looking at. And the other angle is, on the other hand, the investors, the people who wanted to invest in content, people who wanted to look at content through the eyes of an asset, alternative asset, and not just something which entertains them, right? Something which gives them return, something which uh, amplifies the amount of money that they can make back, because of the fact that people love to see good content, right? And content is a very, very, yes, risky but good asset class, right? So what we are doing, Pandora is bringing both these elements together, wherein the investors will be able to invest through fractions of the capital that is required by the content project. So that, I think, in one single line summarizes what Pandora is doing. Now, talking about the Web3 part, how tokenizing is kind of revolutionizing this whole space, and why tokenization is going to make so much sense, right? I think there are multiple advantages of introducing the element of blockchain and tokenization in this space, right? One, the basic premise of putting your data on blockchain is, there are two, three main advantages. One, it's very transparent. Two, it is very, the data becomes immutable, which becomes that no one can now interfere with the data which has been loaded onto a blockchain, right? So which means that if you are a filmmaker, right, and you have your own tokens as let's say financial instruments, which now you can distribute to your fans, and only the fans who have bought those tokens will be able to view your content, right? Or may be able to invest in the content. So imagine what we have done. Imagine what we have done out here. One, we have brought transparency. Two, we have brought the power of distributing content in the hands of the creator. He doesn't have to depend on anyone else now. He knows that, okay, I've got 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people have purchased my tokens. They are my true fans. They will give me the money, and all that money belongs to me now. It doesn't have to be distributed or shared with the studio. The IP rights still stay with me. I can still keep monetizing my IP, my effort, my whole creativity, my whole effort, the team effort that we have put onto that project, onto this tokenized tokens, right? So one, the creator becomes more transparent. He understands where the money is going to come and how much money is going to come, right? He now owns the IP. He doesn't have to share the IP with others, right? So that's one advantage of token. On the other hand, again, the investor, because now the investor will be given a token which would have an underlying share in the IP, which could be, let's say, a share in that company which is holding the IP, or the share of revenue which that IP will make, or the share of IP itself, IP revenues, the share of profits that IP will make. So now this investor knows that I am not only subscribing to something. That's not, I mean, it's not a one-way road. Now it has become a two-way road, which means that I will not only invest money, but if the content is good, if the creator is good, if other people like what they have made, the money will come, the revenue will come, and part of the revenue will come to me also. I will also get my money back, right? So, and then again, my ownership of that IP, my participation in that IP again becomes transparent because there is a token out there. So, what is tokenization doing? Tokenization is making the whole process of IP content creation as a participative process. It is now not a process which is only concentrated amongst few people. It is now becoming a participative process. And not only Pandora, not only Pandora. I think today there are multiple platforms which are trying to do the similar thing in a same space. If I talk about some other examples, look at film.io, look at filmtoken.io, look at toyo.com, right? So these platforms are bringing the concept of tokens into the content IP and giving the power and the right to the investors, to the creators, to the fans on what films should be made, how films should be made, what should be the budgets, what should be the returns that should be distributed amongst a lot larger number of people, how the whole process can become a lot more democratic as we speak about it, right? So I think these are the few advantages that tokenization is bringing in the space of content IP, right? Not only that, from an investor point of view, the moment I'm able to tokenize his investment and make that instrument a crypto-based instrument, I can also take advantages which the other DeFi technologies is enabling today amongst alternative finance, which means that if I have a single token, I can stake that token, I can connect that token, I can buy that token through a DeFi pool. Let's say I can buy stake in a film through Bitcoin or through other DeFi pools. I can fragment that token, and most importantly, I can immediately liquidate that token. I do not have to wait till the time that film will make the money, I will get my exit. No. Today, that token gives you a global transparency and a global scope of liquidating your token immediately, because now you can say, okay, this is a right on a digital blockchain, right? And if it's on a digital blockchain, I can put this on any exchange globally, and people who are interested in that asset class, they can buy that token, right? The liquidity, the transparency in the ownership of that token, everything is now recorded in a blockchain. Everything is for the whole world to see. It can now actually move in a very trustless environment, and that exactly what blockchain is all about, right? So that I think that exactly is what the benefits of tokenization we will be seeing in this entire space of content IP. Yeah, I think that's it from my side as a brief rundown on what is happening in this space. I'm open to any questions or any thoughts on this.
Wow. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for giving a light to that part. You know, it's very rare information actually, as this is a different process that's doing that space. But has there been challenges, or are there like what has been the most challenging aspect of your area
Yeah,
of expertise or work, and how have
yeah, I
you?
think yeah,
Yeah.
I think one of the most challenges in this kind of a ecosystem, where you are trying to tokenize assets, real assets, right? And you are actually trying to make the process simpler. So the challenges are actually coming from the legendary players, right? The challenges are coming from the governments. The challenges are coming from the regulations, because what they are seeing, they are not able to grasp that how and the legendary systems of money transfers, banks, financial institutions, against someone controlling the money, the flow of the money, how that, how those systems, how those legendary systems are now being broken step by step, right? Are now becoming more transparent, are now becoming less costly to operate, are now becoming more liquid, right? Easier. For example, a blockchain exchange of assets will enable me to have a 24/7 settlement. I do not have to wait for the bank to wake up and then do my settlement, right? I do not have to wait for 3 days, 4 days. I can have an immediate transfer of my asset, immediate transfer of money, because that money, that asset today is on a blockchain, right? So I think there are obviously regulatory challenges. Uh, I do confess, I do understand that some people have tried to work or take advantage of the loopholes, right? Some people have not followed the law of the land, or at least have not followed the law in the spirit of the law. While there is no law about it, I mean, the law is still being made on real world asset tokenization and on tokenization of asset classes. But then, yeah, there have been a lot of people have lost their money. I understand, because that purpose was different. That purpose was not. not asset tokenization. That purpose was just speculative cryptocurrency exchange, right? Which is very different from what we are doing. We are not into speculation. We are not giving you a currency and saying that okay, this currency is just a meme coin, and you can buy it or you can sell it, and it will just sell without having underlying asset. No, Pandora token have an underlying asset. Pandora token have a tangible asset, which is the film right, which is the IP right, which is the revenue right? It is not something which is based on air. It is not something which is based on pure speculation, right? But yes, I think it always happens. Regulations always follow technological innovations. So I think that is happening in this space also. Today, a lot of countries like Dubai, Qatar, Singapore have opened up. They're understanding what tokenization can do, how can it make the system a lot more effective and a lot more participative. So they are opening up their regulations. They are understanding. They're working with some players. They're giving them licenses. I think even India. While India doesn't like crypto, India likes blockchain, right? And this is something which is openly accepted by the Indian government, right? And I think they're also slowly and gradually taking those steps towards regulating content, IP. Asset tokenization as such, right? Be it content or be it real estate or whatever is asset, right? So I think that's the challenge because of that challenge, there are still some confusion on how do you operate, where do we operate out of, how do we work with other intermediaries which are required in any business. So that's one challenge, right? And I think the other challenge is uh, there is still a need of bringing in a lot more awareness amongst the people, right? Both from the demand side and supply side, right? Because as I said, this is a very new system. A lot of people, be it the content makers or be it the content consumers, they will have to be told that what is it that we are trying to do. What is the benefit that you have in this whole space, right? So I think that awareness once it comes, because unfortunately, what has happened is that a lot of people still misperceive that Web3 is nothing but Bitcoin, right? Web3 is nothing but just a speculative currency exchange, right? I think that perception will need to be changed. And I think it will change when a lot more serious people are coming in the space. For example, I think just 2 weeks back, BlackRock, which is one of the which is one of the globally largest financial investor and innovator. Now they have said that they will be launching a fund for real world asset tokenization, right? So I think once those kind of institutions accept that yes, blockchain can make a change, make a difference in the way assets can be sold and transacted and invested, I think then the whole world will gradually follow suit.
Wow. It's great to hear. Thank you so much for sharing the challenges that you are facing, and I totally agree regarding the awareness of the process that you are doing. Because if not for awareness, like the interests of people will come in once they know. So those who do not have knowledge or how it works, how it will go, the interest will not be there. All right, that's perfect. So how can they access the the benefits of the Pandora, and to for them to learn more if they wish to join the
Yeah,
process?
yeah. No, I think they can always visit our website, which is Pandora.app. They also have an option when they go on the homepage. There will be an option to access the community and join our community, and we welcome them with open arms to join our community to discuss that how we together can make the new future for content IP investments out here, right? So yeah, that's I think one way. And other way is they can obviously reach out directly to me through LinkedIn or through any or my email, which is very simple, Satish, Satish at the rate Pandora.app.
All right, wonderful. So yes, if you have missed this live, you can rewatch this one on YouTube. So you can access their services pandora.app,
Yeah,
pandora.app, and or you can just add Sir Satish on LinkedIn. He's very responsive, and definitely you can collaborate offline. Anything you'd like to promote? Any upcoming online webinars or sessions that you will be having, sir? Or yeah.
No, I think all I would like to promote is that if you are seriously interested in this space, I would like to welcome you to join our community. The community links are given on our homepage. I think that's it. What I want from you right now. Thank you so much.
All right, then that's perfect. So there you go, folks. So again, if you are interested or curious about the space Sir Satish is explaining, definitely you can visit his website again, pandora.app. All right. Thank you so much for delivering that first topic wonderfully, Sir Satish. And then we will be moving to the next topic today. As you have mentioned, this next speaker will definitely give or shed additional light to this workspace. And we have the next topic titled as Tech Trends. So, exploring the future of real estate and investments. So, India's booming real estate and investment landscape, driven by anticipated economic growth and government policies promoting transparency and stability, and offer diverse opportunities beyond traditional asset classes and emerging asset classes. Rapid urbanization and infrastructure development in tier 2 and tier 3 cities underscore the need for investors to explore innovative avenues beyond fixed deposits. So that's just a short description of what we will be discussing today. And with us to cover the topic is Sir Sangeet Himan Kumar, founder of SHK Global Ventures and Wealthy Go. And he is an accomplished professional with over 3 decades of expertise in real estate, fintech, and media tech domains, and being the founder of HSK Global Ventures, a distinguished boutique investment advisory firm. Our speaker brings an extensive knowledge and a keen eye for identifying and nurturing promising ventures. And without further ado, we present to you the second guest that we have, Sir Sangeet Himan Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Thanks for the very warm welcome. And thanks, Satish, for giving me this opportunity. I and Satish go back about 15 odd years. We've been working together, and I'm also a part of what he's building. So he's doing a commendable job. It's not easy in India to build something which is innovative. It is not easy to build something which is disruptive. It takes time going forward, taking the discussion forward, what Satish was talking about, the regulation. Now, the reason why the regulator and why the Indian government is a little bit skeptical is because we're talking of collecting funds. We're talking about raising money, right? India is a very large country with diversified social economic differences. So it's very important that, like what Satish was saying, that any platform, anybody who's raising funds for whether it is for fractionalization of real estate, whether it is fractionalization of art, whether it is fractionalization of content, the intent of the platform owner, the intent of the marketplace is very important. So that is why the regulation is playing is important. The regulator is playing their aspect and their role, and that's what's changing. We are now entering into the era where there is a very, very clear mandate that we have a very large, young, new age, tech savvy investor, and they want to invest into alternatives. So that's very, very clear. Till now, whatever we were talking from an investment point of view was very, very traditional, whether it was real estate, whether it was gold, whether it is shares, whether it's equity, whether it is any other commodity. All these investments are all traditional investments. Their new age investments are the alternatives, which are now gathering a lot of interest. There is a focus. We have a lot of platforms which have been created. There's a lot of huge amount of money which is being invested in technology. ensuring that the fractionalization reaches out to a larger investor base. So that's where the basic foundation is what I want to lay today for our discussion. Now, going forward, if we understand real estate, it's a very, very capital incentive business, right? Uh, every if this is applicable to anybody, any part of the world, I will use the word which is in Hindi and then I'll convert that into English. It's roti, kapda, or makan. So roti means food, kapda means cloth, and makan means a house, right? These are the three basic necessity of humankind. We need all these three necessities. So what we are now talking about out of the three is what we talk about is real estate. Whether you're living in a house, you're operating out of an office, you are entertained in a multiplex, you're shopping in a mall, everything is about real estate. Indian growth story is we are rising, the economy is booming, we have a very, very stable government, elections are around the corner, and we are expecting and we are hoping that we have the same government coming back into power, which is enabling the growth of the entire investment scenario, which is globally, where we are attracting a lot of institutional and foreign institutional capital coming into the country. So now you have institutional funds which are coming internationally, which are coming from the USA. We already heard about Blackstone. There is Brookfield, there is GIC, there is the Singapore Fund, Canadian Fund. So all these funds which are coming into India are all now going to be rooted into real estate, which why call them as the institutional investment which is coming into the country. There is another change which we all need to understand from the Indian real estate perspective. About 6-7 years back, we were a very, very opaque business. There was no transparency. It was very fragmented. It was very unorganized. Because of the regulator which we have, which is called as the RERA, which is the Real Estate Regulatory Act, which came in 2016, there has been a change. So what the Indian real estate industry is going through on one side is a lot of consolidation. There's a lot of organized players which are coming in. There are large financially, disciplined developers coming in, and there is a lot of corporate governance developer coming in. So what is this making from the, like he was talking about the supply side and the demand side. From the supply side, they are now having grade A real estate being built, grade A real estate being constructed, and these are going across asset classes. So you have residential, you have commercial, you have retail, you've got data center, you have co-living, co-working, service apartments, senior citizen, all these various kind of alternative asset classes which have been built are all getting a lot of investments coming in from these institutional, both domestic as well as the international global investors. Now, when this money is coming into the assets, we are having, as I said, grade A assets being created. These assets are then being fractionalized, and we have multiple fractional platforms, what we call as FOP, fractional ownership platforms, where these assets which are generating income are placed, which are getting fractionalized, and you have the retail investor being able to be a part of that income which is being generated, and they co-own that asset class. So what Satish is doing in the content IP space is what we are doing in the real estate space. Both of us are basically democratizing the access to both our capital incentive business. You may talk about a Hindi film or any Indian regional film. We're talking of the money, the amount of money, the amount of capital which goes into one film. It goes right from Indian rupees from 30-40 crores, it's going to about 200-300 crores. So that is where the opportunity lies. The structure is getting organized. The industry is getting very much organized. We are having a lot of, as I said, corporate developers which have come in, which is giving the investors both the institutional investors and the retail investors a lot of confidence. And I would just like what Satish was talking about, give you some amount of figures because no discussion is complete. We don't have the figures in place. So the Indian real estate is now at about 250 or 300 billion dollars. We're going to be touching a potential uh, business of about $1 trillion when the Indian real estate GDP is going to be $5 trillion. We're at about $3 trillion right now, or $3.2 trillion. The growth which we are seeing is tremendous. The growth is going to be happening in the next 2 or 3 years. And this growth is going to be continuing because you were talking about the development of the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities. India is going through a lot of infrastructure development. There are a lot of bridges being constructed. There are a lot of coastal roads being created. There are airports are being upgraded. The ports are being upgraded. Entire country is under construction. There is going to be increased mobility. There is going to be a lot of infrastructure development. We have about 150 highways which have been launched. We have as many new airports. Every city, Mumbai city, we have 2 airports. There's a third airport coming. Bangalore has 2 airports. Goa has 2 airports. There are a lot of cities in the tier 2 cities where we don't have airports. There are airports now being developed. So all these all these things together is what is the Indian growth story all about. There is going to be a rise of consumerism. What we need to also understand, there is a lot of brands which have come in. uh, Today's new age generation does not believe. So we are going through a very mixed perspective where the new generation wants to also enjoy their life. They want to, they are the consumer. 30% of the Indian population is youth. And it is the youth of this country which is going to be driving the Indian economy, which is going to be fueling the growth of the country. I very, very strongly believe for any country to be cash positive, it's all about spending. It's all about consumerism. The more movies are being made, the more multiplexes are being created, more screens are being created. There are going to be, you have the internet accessibility, you have 5G, where the content can be consumed on my mobile, the content can be consumed on my desktop, the content can be consumed in any across the various screens. So this is what I'm talking from what Satish is doing in the content space. I'm now relating that to the real estate industry, to the real estate perspective, where we have opportunities for the investors to co-own a holiday home, to co-own a co-working space, to co-own a co-living space, a service apartment through fractionalization. So this is the most interesting aspect of the Indian growth story, what we're going through. So this is where we as a consulting company, we as an advisory company are promoting. I'm privileged and I'm very happy to be leading a very, very young and a very dynamic team at SHK Global Ventures as an consulting and an advisory company. We have recently launched, it's about a month back, we realized that you need to have a community. There are a lot of platforms, a lot of entities, a lot of marketplaces listing the opportunities. So we took a very, very, what I should say, a 360-degree, a different kind of a perspective. So rather than working on the supplies, and Satish is aware of it, we are working with Satish, is to build a community of investors. So we are looking at aggregating a lot of the investors. We're using education. I was very happy that I was invited to be a featured speaker for this particular session. And that's exactly our ethos. We'll be soon launching our own podcast where we believe that education is very, very important for the investor to be aware. What is the investment? What is the opportunities? And what are the risks of where to invest and where not to invest? So education, I loved when you started this entire webinar, Phil, when you said that education is something, knowledge is something which grows only by sharing, and it should be given free of cost, because I very, very strongly believe, and that's what we are building at Wealthigo. That is what we are building. We are not here to sell. We are here to educate. We are here to keep you informed. We are here to make you understand, differentiate which is the investment product, which is the investment structure, option, opportunity that you as an investor would like to invest in. We don't believe in selling investments. We believe in educating the investor and giving them the opportunity to choose as per their profile, as per their risk appetite, to opt for the right opportunity, which is as per their requirement, as per their risk appetite, and as per which they would like to invest, and they would like their money to grow. So that is the overall gist of what today's discussion and my perspective on real estate, on prop tech, on technology, and going forward and putting the piece together of what Satish is building at Fendora is the content IP space and accessing, democratizing the access to retail investors to co-own the content space.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that one, Sir Singate. That was a great information that you have shared to us. So within your area of expertise, like do you foresee further advancements? Like what could be the possible advancements?
Yeah, this is just the beginning, right? So when I say about the opportunity, the Indian real estate is going to be a $1 trillion industry by the year 2027, 28, 29. It's a matter of 3 to 4 years. 10% of that is going to be fueled by technology. So that we are talking about a market size, potential market size of 100 billion US dollars. That's a huge amount of money. So the technology for anything to scale, Satish knows about it. He's been building it. He knows. He's been in this both from the investor's perspective as a fund manager and now as a founder. That how important is capital and how important is technology. So that is what we believe, that if the industry, the real estate industry, the movie industry, the IP industry, the content IP industry, if they need to scale from here, we will need a lot of technology to fuel. And there is going to be a lot of investment which is going to be required to be a part of the growth engine.
Okay.
So there's going to be huge amount of growth, and there is a huge amount of traction coming in from the global institutional investment. Now, what happens, you got to also understand, is the cost of the capital. When you are raising money and when you are borrowing money from India, the cost of the capital is comparatively high. The cost of capital internationally is comparatively cheaper. And what is interesting is, as the ROI, which we call as the return on investment, is starting increasing in India, because if you look at the spaces in New York City, if you look at the commercial spaces in San Francisco, they're all being hit now because they're using a lot of hybrid business model. So we have a lot of commercial spaces which are lying vacant. There are a lot of rentals which have come down. Now, if you look at it from the Indian perspective, there is a lack of grade A buildings. There is a lack of properties which is going to be used by the alternative operators to build alternative assets, which eventually is going to get fractionalized, which eventually is going to be opening up the investment attracting from the individual investors. So if you look at this entire scenario, there is a huge opportunity. We have more organized players coming in. Again, as I said, there is going to be a lot of grade A properties built with a lot of international architects, international landscape designers, international, talking of creating the new India, which is at par with any of the global or international city of the world.
Wow, that's
So I think
really great.
I've made a tourism pitch. I've made an investment pitch. I've made all kinds of pitch. Come to India and invest into India, invest into the Indian growth story, and and have a handsome return.
Yeah. So wow, that was very well delivered. So if you see there, folks, you can definitely hear the experience from these guests that we have right now. So sharing that knowledge that they have, and even the advancements that they can foresee with this line of business. So this is just the gist of the awareness that you are seeking. If you wish to know more, you can get in touch with this great people. So Sir Satish and Sir Sangeet, you can definitely search them on LinkedIn and hear more thoughts about this matter. So,
Sure.
for our attendees, if you have any questions, just use the raised hand option. If you wish to use your like unmute, or if you just wanted to stay silent, you can type your question on the chat. Everyone can see it, so you can put your question there. For the moment, like, are there any particular articles or resources you would recommend, Sir Sangeet, for our audience for further learning?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. I didn't. I missed that. Sorry.
Yes, yes. No problem. Do you have any suggested articles or particular
Yeah,
resources you would recommend?
we will be launching our educational and informative podcast very soon. It's going to be named the HHK Show. We will be bringing in the real estate developers. We'll be bringing in the asset management companies, fractionalized the fraction ownership players. So we're going to be bringing a lot of content through our podcast. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Anybody can just type Sangeet Hemant Kumar on LinkedIn, and I keep posting a lot of educative and informative articles and blogs. And we have our website, which is Wealthygo, which is Wealthygo, wealthygo.xyz. I'm sure that information you can share that with our listeners. And
Yes.
if there is, and I think if we have got some time, we have Manmohan, we've got Amit, we've got Liz, we've got Muakko, we've got Sejal. If anybody wants to introduce themselves, I think that also will be, let's keep it interactive from both sides. It would be interesting to know if we have time, what are our friends doing and which part of the world are they from? If anybody wants to introduce themselves.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Anyone.
Since
Who,
we have a small gathering here, so it's better we can make it conversational and just say hi to each other. And Sejal is part of my team, so she leads the brand and corporate relations, and she has spent about 15 years in GCC in Dubai, so she understands the business of investments.
Yes. So, yes, we highly encourage our attendees if you could unmute and just say
Anybody
hi.
wants to unmute, anybody wants to say hi, anybody wants to share where they are from, anybody wants to open up some kind of a conversation, some kind of a question, be more than happy to answer that.
Yes, hello.
Yes. Hi.
Yes,
Yes, hey. So this is my first time attending. I recently joined. So my name is Eliud. I am from Zambia.
nice to from Zambia, lovely place.
Yes. Very pleased to meet you too.
All
So
right.
what
Thank
do
you
you
so much.
do?
Oh, I joined as a SEO analyst intern. I'm based in Turkey. I'm doing my master's in economics.
Very nice.
Great. Thank you for interacting, Iliad. Do you have any questions or opinions or insights?
Not yet.
Great.
All right. Thank you. How about the other attendees?
Anybody else? Amit want to say hi? Liz, Manmohan, Sejal wants to say hi. Anybody want to say hi?
Hello.
Yes, Amit.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone.
Yes,
So
good
You
I
evening
want
to
to
you.
introduce yourself? Where are you from, Amit?
yes, I'm Amit Srivastav. I'm from Mumbai, India. Hi, Sangeet.
Oh, Amit Srivastav. How are you, Amit?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you
Good.
doing?
So he's an amazing entrepreneur. He also believes in sharing knowledge. Amit is a good friend of mine. Nice to have you, Amit.
Same here. Same here.
Yes, I mean,
It was very wonderful webinar and lots of info sharing. Good. Keep it up. And
Very
we
nice,
hope
Amit. Thanks. Thanks.
we'll get some useful, investment bundle very soon comes to India.
No, Amit, very soon we will be, like we spoke about this last time, very soon we'll be working on our podcast. And we very strongly believe, Amit, you're aware of it, that the way the Indian real estate is growing, there is a lot of knowledge gap. And I think somebody has to take the responsibility. So now it's like exactly what Phil was saying, what their company is doing. It's time to give back to the community. It's give time to give back to the society. And that's exactly what we are doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very nice.
yes, definitely. And should you wish to share your best practices as well, Amit, or your aside from sharing your best practices or any topic that you wanted to share knowledge from, you can also promote whatever you are doing or how you are doing
Yes,
or
good. Amit,
yeah,
why don't you talk
overcoming your
about
challenges.
yourself? Yeah.
Yeah,
Not in,
maybe in the
I'm not.
future you can join as a guest speaker in our webinars. Should you wish to?
Sure. Amit is a good, a knowledgeable entrepreneur.
I would love to. And currently, as you see, Indian real estate market is booming, and not only real estate but other things as well. And we have seen that how that steel industry is doing, and also our some pricing factors are coming, which is a little bit worrisome. But still, we are very hopeful, very positive, and I think Sangeet Bhai can put light on those things very well. And, and for education purpose, he's already working very hard to bring something. Let's see where we can go further from this.
So what is happening, Liz, Phil, is that we have especially in India, because you're too large of a country, and there's a lot of development which is happening too fast, right? So digitization and technology advancement is going at a very fast pace, and we have a lot of the other part of the country where they are not used to the technology advancement. So that gap, that's exactly the challenge even what Satish is facing. So from a traditional business to transit to a tech driven business is going to take time, and that's where we need support, and we require platforms like your platform. When we talk about LetUsTalk.com, we need more education, we need more of platforms where, and we need more of interactions where we have the knowledge giver and the knowledge seeker coming together on one platform.
Exactly. That is the big challenge because you cannot just put everyone in one room, and online awareness is much preferred. It's better. It's faster, definitely. So more webinars in this kind of manner would definitely be a great help.
I think we will need to invest some money in marketing, in digital marketing, so that we have more participation. You're doing a fantastic job. It's not easy to host a webinar. It's important for the speakers to have a better audience because they are giving in them time. So with Satish, along with Satish, I will speak on his behalf, on behalf of Amit and anybody and everybody here, that I think it becomes a collective responsibility of all the stakeholders to come together to promote these kinds of initiatives.
Exactly. All right then. So that's a wonderful thing to share. And I guess this we have consumed the hour of this webinar schedule, and we really appreciate our guest speakers' time and effort in sharing their best practices in this platform. So we
Been
are
a
very
pleasure. It's
grateful
been a pleasure.
that you have joined in. And for those who should wish to give back and share knowledge as well, I have put there my WhatsApp on the chat, so you can get in touch with me should you wish to. And for our guest speakers here, again, connect with them on LinkedIn to stay updated with their works. And also, as mentioned by Sir Sangeet regarding the podcast that he'll be launching, so follow his profile on LinkedIn so you can stay updated if it will be already up. All right. So I guess that concludes today's knowledge sharing. So I hope everyone would are we're able to uh, acquire new informations about the rest of the world. And also, you can watch this video. If you missed this session, you can watch the recorded video on YouTube. You can visit our page. It's Let Us Talk It on YouTube, and also you can follow us on LinkedIn as well to stay updated for future webinars. So again, thank you so much all for our attendees. Thank you for your time joining in,
Pleasure,
and it's a
pleasure.
pleasure, Sir Satish and Sir Sangeet, to have you here in
Thank you.
our
Thank you, Phil. It's a
platform.
pleasure.
So
Thanks a lot. And all of
goodbye
you,
for now, everyone. This is the end of the webinar,
goodbye
and
and take
take care as
care.
always.
And there is going to be Eid celebration tomorrow. So happy Eid and all. God bless.
Yes, all
Thank
good.
you.
All right, take care, everyone. Keep safe as always.
Bye bye.